got a few questions here. It's just a bit confusing here. So, because I've been in this on this journey of knowledge as well. So I've got a few questions about the Earth and the Anunnaki.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, are the Anunnaki the fallen angels that the Bible speaks of? And if not, who created them? And should I continue the question? I've got another question which states like, who created Earth? If the Anunnaki hovered over the Earth, you mentioned they hovered
Yeah.
over the Earth, and then so who then created the Earth prior to them arriving?
Okay, right. The Anunnaki, we did a whole video on the Anunnaki. The
Yeah.
Anunnaki are people, they have parents. Anu has parents. His parents are Ansha and Kisha, right? That's the ninth Anu.
Yeah.
And our ancestors, the Panatharu, are like 100,000 light years ahead in terms of technology. They are responsible for creating the planets. What you're calling planets, like if remember, this is just one planet in our solar system of many solar systems, billions of solar systems, right? And these are beings, they're just more advanced and they live in different parts of the cosmos. So when you say who created the Anunnaki, they like us, they multiply and they have children. And in that part, right part Anunnaki and the biblical,
From
yeah, that and we did the whole video on that as well. So you can get to know about who we're calling Anunnaki. The phrase is just a term that was relating to those beings that Anu, that was in the seat of power at the time, sent beings down here to come and, like we were saying, carry out certain projects, look for the gold and things like that. And they came in groups of 50
Yeah.
because the passengers, the crafts could only hold 50 passengers, and predominantly that was his family. Now, when you're talking about the terraforming or Enki flying above the planet, there were already billions and millions of other planets and stars and galaxies and constellations already prior to that. It was just this planet at the time, because of an accident, that the meteorite hit the planet, and when it did, it basically produced dust that covered the planet, and the planet wasn't able to receive the sun rays from the sun, because in our solar system, our sun is what basically keeps life going. So they had to clear the dust cloud to let the sun rays in. So this is where Genesis is picking up, and it sounds like they will say God in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's a story that somebody's telling you. So obviously, if they're there telling you the story, that's not the beginning, is it? Because they would have been created in whatever beginning they were in. So people get confused because it just starts off like that. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and they said, "Let there be light." That's when the light rays or the sun rays were coming through. So did I answer all your questions?
Yeah, I've still got more, but then it's just a bit confusing then.
What's
Because,
confusing?
no, about the Anunnaki, because it goes against certain beliefs. Now, for instance, I'm Yoruba, right? And in the Yoruba tradition, they believe, God created the earth, and then there was this cock, like a chicken or a hen, should I say,
Yeah.
that was put on the earth to then spread out sand all over the earth, and that's where life began.
Yeah, but
It's a bit
it doesn't make sense if you think about that story properly. What it is those are symbolic
Symbolic,
stories
yeah.
that are relating to stories that came before them. So when you're saying the hen, that's dealing with the geese or the goose that laid the golden egg, which is a story taken from ancient Egypt. And that's what I'm saying. These stories get passed on over and
thing as
over
well, then,
again.
because
Sorry,
yeah,
let me
but in the
finish.
life,
So when you say God created, every creation, every religious story or cultures, they begin with God created, but they don't explain who this God is and how did this God come about. Whereas we go into the details and tell you which gods they're talking about, who they're saying or calling God. Go ahead.
okay, because another thing is, they mentioned they came to mine gold. So when I look at the world today, we look at who's holding all the gold in the world today. It's the Caucasian race, and it just so happens to be that the Negroes happen to be the oppressed race.
You're wrong.
Reason,
You're wrong again. The gold, the most
yeah,
gold is in Africa.
yes, I know, but the Anunnaki said they created a slave race to hoard the gold, to harvest the gold, if you will. And to me, it comes across to me as if it's the Caucasian race that's doing that.
Well,
And
that's you saying, you're saying your version of what you think it is, but that's not what it is.
I'm going on what I see. That's the thing.
Say that
I'm
again?
just going on what I see.
No, I'm saying you just said you think is the Caucasian race, but you have to tell me where are you getting your information from? Where's the reference?
No, it's based on what I can see currently in the world today.
All right,
And,
why just say what you're seeing in terms of what? The gold?
Yeah, no, because the story of the Anunnaki is something to do with they created a race of beings to mine gold on this earth. And then I'm relating that to the Caucasian that's holding all the gold in the world. That's kind of, if you will, doing what it says the Anunnaki created the slave race for, if you know what I mean.
No, I don't. We're trying to clarify your question because you're making inference and trying to correlate two different things and saying you think it's that, but that's not what it is. And I'm saying to you, right now, they don't even really have any gold. No. Caucasians don't have any gold. Or if you're saying who's got the most gold, the gold is predominantly in Africa.
Still is, yeah.
And still is. And the riches or the things that they're using as, value here in the West all come from pretty much from Africa. That's the platinum, the gold, the silver, the cobalt, oil, name it. So, I mean, what is it that you're really trying to ask? Because you're not really...
I don't understand. Yeah, no, I know, because the question is not that straightforward. That's the thing. It's just, I'm going on what I can see, because what we see today is a remnant of the past. Something must have happened in the past, and then we're going for it today. Because I see
You're telling me what you observe and what you see, but what is your question? Like, ask your question directly, because anyone can make, an observation and then give opinions on what they see. But what is your question? Because this is ask us anything as ask us a question. But you're not asking a direct question.
I know I'm trying to debate, but it's just, Okay, can I ask this one question then? So why are the Negroes oppressed in the world today?
Only person that's oppressed is somebody who feels they're oppressed and wants to be oppressed. I'm not oppressed.
We're rising up. I'm not.
I mean, it's a matter of how you see things. It's a matter of how you see things. People feel they're oppressed because they're not doing what they need to do. Like all other races, they come together and they build for themselves. Like, not everybody feels oppressed, but globally it will look that way because for 6,000 years, we've been in that position of subjugation because we're not in control. So Wu-Sabat is here for people to stop thinking like that and come together and build and do what we need to do.
Right.
Yeah, we're starting to take control of our life, our destiny. So yeah, we're not under that slave mentality no more. That's why the master teacher is here to break the spell, to get us out of that state of worshipping other self than kind.
Right, we've got a lot of questions waiting and people ringing. So if you have another question, you can just ask that and we can address that. And you can join our Telegram group if you're already not, or come to the classes and ask more of your questions. But because this is a live and we want to get through as many questions as possible.
No problem. I'll come to the class.
Yeah, come down, man. Come down.
All right, Taiwo.